Hello, 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 Mosaic Souls. Trying to see if I have better lighting. I don't think I do, but we will just have to. Anywho, hello, Mosaic Souls. So this is a totally impromptu thing that I wanted to start Soul Nugget Sundays. Just releasing kind of like, you know me, just whatever soul nuggets from my soul to yours, specifically delivered on Sundays. I don't know if it's consistent. I know. Anyways, I'm excited to share this topic about how to trust following your highest excitement. I was planning on shooting this more professionally and stuff, but I wasn't really feeling it. And then I was just talking to my spirit fam, I was talking to my divine team, and I was exploring the topic more further. And as I was talking about it more further, my excitement got even greater. So I was like, okay, let me just turn on my freaking camera and talk about this, because this is just straight. It was really dark outside. It's probably like 8:36 p.m. on a Saturday, and I just wanted to share this. So I'm coming to you raw, live. You know how I do. Anyways, moving on. So, how to trust following your highest excitement. This is super, super exciting to me because it's something that I've been mastering over the past, I don't know, I guess few months of this year. Not few months, over this year, like 2019. I've been really learning to master this, and I'm still mastering. I'm not perfect at it, but I wanted to share this from my spirit fam, my divine team, to you. Because this is just something that I know many of us struggle with. I wonder if I turn this way, will you get better? I don't know. Is that better? Anyways, I kind of like not having to hold the camera, but whatever. I think this is better lighting. Okay, cool. We'll go with this. So yeah, just tuning in. So my spirit fam is basically saying there are many things that they'd like to share on this topic. The first of them being is that I'm just going to channel what they're saying. When you learn to follow your highest excitement, you'll recognize that the joy and the bliss that you feel from moment to moment, even in the smallest increments, in the smallest moments, those are the breadcrumbs that your soul is literally guiding you to follow. When you follow your highest excitement, it is the quickest and fastest path towards your desired reality, towards the experiences that your soul has come to explore on the planet through your human experience. When you learn to trust that this is the case, when you learn to trust that this is so, you will find that your life unfolds more effortlessly and naturally without much effort on your part. And when we talk about effort, we are not saying that there will be no action or activity on your part, but rather there will not be a mentality or sense of struggle and striving that many humans participate in today in their day-to-day lives. So they're asking me to share my personal experience. So so basically what was coming to me is I was listening to another spiritual teacher, and I've been following my highest excitement a lot. And my life has been a lot less efforting going on. Manifestations are just, if you're alive, you're always manifesting, but manifesting what I want, actually manifesting my desires, is a lot easier. I don't have to try as hard to get what I want. But one of the things that was a thing I wanted to share about this was that trust your own process, right? Like, as we're becoming masters of our human experience, souls having a human experience, as we're waking up to who we truly are, one of the things that we have a tendency to do is look outside of ourselves and compare ourselves to other people's journeys. And we, as individuated expressions of the divine, individuated expressions of source, right? As souls having this human experience, we each came for our own experience. So even as you hear me sharing my experience, reasons why I always say flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't, is because you're on your own journey. You're going to have your own way of experiencing your own self-mastery, right? And so part of what I was excited to kind of realize and remember is that I'm here to explore my own journey, you know, and sometimes we have a tendency to look outside of ourselves and say, oh, this person is more spiritually advanced. Why am I not where they are? You know, or why am I not, you know, manifesting more of what I want with ease? Why is it so hard for me to trust doing what I love in each moment? And in this, yeah, I can hear my spirit fam saying, have more compassion for yourself, have more love for yourself. You're going through this process of self-mastery that you wanted to explore. Like, any experience that you're having was not on the agenda. Like, your soul knew every possible experience, and knows every future possible experience that you could have ever experienced. And so you're well equipped to handle your life experiences. And so you know, I was excited to really remember this, because it was like, whatever I'm excited to do, I'm trusting more and more and more, even in the smallest moments, when I feel like going to sleep or taking a nap and I don't feel like doing anything. When someone calls me and I don't feel like talking to them, I won't pick up the phone, instead of like doing the people pleasing thing. Or, you know, when a client calls me and I'm like, I don't really like talking to you, call me back during this, or, you know what I mean? Or, you know, when someone invites me out and I'm excited to go, then I'll go. Or if someone invites me out and I'm not excited to go, then I don't go. I'm following the breadcrumbs of my excitement. And when I say excitement, it's not just, oh, I'm excited, yay! It's not that all the time. It's more like, it's pleasure. It's like the breadcrumbs of pleasure. What's going to bring me the most joy and pleasure and fulfillment in this moment, right? So that's what I talk about with like the whole highest excitement. It's not what was the most thing that's like, oh my God, I'm so excited to do. No, it's like, what is going to bring me the most fulfillment, joy, ease, pleasure in this moment, right? And it's learning to trust that more and more. Excuse me, I have this. Sneeze. Anyways, sorry. Not sorry, but yeah, anyways, moving on. But yeah, so it's like, when you learn to trust that aspect of your divinity, learning to trust, and it's a process, like I'm saying, I'm still mastering it. I haven't got it down packed. Like, it's a never ending journey, but I'm learning to trust in every single moment to do, what do you feel like doing? And I, you know, in the beginning, I would ask myself that all the time. And sometimes when I get stuck in my like old conditioning that might come up that says, oh no, when our logical, oh, that's the thing I wanted to share. When our logical minds take over, because most of us have been taught to follow our logic. We're not taught to follow our emotions, our emotional guidance system. You know, we're not taught to follow what feels good. We're taught to follow what is logical. All right. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, sorry about that. Okay. So yes, so we're not taught to follow our intuition, our innate guidance within us. You know, we're literally taught to follow our logical minds, right? A plus B equals C. We're always taught that 1 + 1 = 2, right? We're not taught that, no, 1 + 1 is going to be whatever I want it to equal, because I'm a divine being and I'm the one creating my own reality. And how I'm creating my reality, co-creating, really is I'm following the breadcrumbs of my soul. You know, my soul, the vantage point here. Like, I'm a little speck of a human on this planet called Earth, and my soul is like this infinite thing, seeing every possibility that could ever exist on the planet. And so why would I not follow the breadcrumbs of my soul? Yes, we have free will. Of course, we can do whatever the heck we want to do. We cannot follow our intuition. We can follow our logical minds. That's definitely some things that we've clearly come to explore because many of us still live there. But there is an easier path. And that's the only reason why I'm sharing is because I find in my life, the more I follow my soul, the more I follow the breadcrumbs of my soul, the more I follow the pleasure map, right? The pleasure, the alignment of feeling into what feels good in this moment to do, the easier and easier my life is. You know, like I don't have any problems. You know what I mean? Like so many people's like, you know, I listen to other people and they talk about, oh, you know, you have to deal with your problems. And I just don't believe in problems. I feel like there are experiences that come up. And trust me, I have not a lot, but a few different challenges that pop up here and there. And I'm like, what the heck? And I totally have a human moment. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to do this person. Or, you know, there's definitely, I still have those moments. But in all of that, what is your highest excitement in this moment, you know? And learning to trust that is so, is going to be the path. If you're listening to this, this is the path that your soul wanted you to take, because you wouldn't be listening to this far if you weren't here to explore the path of least resistance, if you weren't here to explore what lights you up, if you weren't here to explore what brings you joy, what are the things that really truly light you up. So that's what I wanted to share, is that most of us are taught to follow our logical minds, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a perfectly valid experience. As I say, all realities are valid, right? They all exist simultaneously. So that's what I mean by it being valid. And it's totally a valid experience as well to explore, right? To live by your logical mind, to live by what, you know, but the only thing about that is that the mind is quite limited in comparison to the vantage point of the soul. Think of the soul as encompassing your mind, your body, your emotions, everything, plus beyond what you could even imagine, right? Like beyond the six senses, right? Like your soul has infinite access to infinite wisdom. And we're deciding not to follow it because this is just what we've been taught and brought up to believe, right? So when you think about it that way, like your soul is literally like your guru. You know what I mean? Like your soul, you aren't separate from your soul. Like your soul encompasses you as a human being as well. But just because of the planet we live on, the game we've come to play on planet Earth, the playground that we've decided to play on, we decided to forget a lot of this stuff, right? And part of the game is remembering and having this sense of kind of self-mastery. When I talk about self-mastery, it's really just about being in full alignment with your soul, right? Being in full alignment with what is natural for you to explore and experience in your time on earth as a human being, right? Whatever your soul had, whatever intentions it had, coupled with your own free will, that's what I mean by alignment, right? That's what I mean by, you know, stepping into your divinity, all these kind of woo-woo words that I mean, that's what I mean. So yeah, that's how, like, so how do you do it, right? Like the how. I'm telling you the story of, like, you know, my process, but the how is really moment by moment, when you can remember and when you can trust it. Do what brings you joy, what brings you pleasure, what brings you fulfillment. I don't know what this thing is. It's like something on the screen. It looks like there's a fly there, but it's not. Anyways, but do what brings you joy, brings you pleasure, brings you excitement, brings you fulfillment, brings you peace. Whatever emotion is what you're supposed to be exploring in the moment, you know, embracing that, you know what I mean? And knowing that whatever you desire already exists, right? Like, and the only time we experience fear of following our bliss is because we're believing in a reality that we don't want to happen, right? Every reality is valid. Every reality exists, right? So of course, the reality that you don't want to happen exists, but also the reality that you do want to happen exist as well. They equally exist, right? And that's what the whole parallel reality thing is, right? Understanding that each reality exists, the one that you end up experiencing is the one that you're focused on, right? And so if you're allowing fear to overtake you, if you're allowing fear to, and it's okay to feel the fear, it's okay to, understand what the fear is there to show you. That's all a part of the process. But if you continually are living in a state of fear over and over and over versus living in the knowing of who you truly are, then exploring the reason behind the fear really is just simply that you're more aligned with the vibrational reality, with the actual reality that you don't want to happen in your experience, versus with the reality of that which you do desire to happen in your experience. And I'm just here to share with you that each of them equally exist. And there's nothing wrong with exploring either of them. But the key to exploring the one that you do desire is to fully align with that, right? And how do you align with that? Is to step into the knowing that, oh, well, this reality exists already. This one is just as equal as the one that I'm over here scared of, right? Because I'm the one creating my reality. I'm creating it by what I focus on and what I give my attention to. So I'm just going to focus my attention on this. This already exists. Who would you be if this already exists? And then you step into the who you would be role of existing, right? Like, so let's say, you want a new car or something like that. And you're afraid that, let's say you're afraid that you won't be able to get the money to get the new car or something like that, right? So the reality of you not having the money to be able to get the car exists, but also the reality of you getting a new car also exists. Like I shared in my Money Talk Thursdays episode, it can manifest without money, right? But let's say you do choose the path with the money to get the car also equally exists, right? So the fear of it not existing is believing in that reality that equally exists, and then the reality of it existing to get the car also exists. So it's like you get to choose what you want to conjure up in your reality by whatever you're focusing on. And that's like, focusing is like what emotions you're feeling, really, because it's like the mental plus the emotional activates that reality. It's literally like draws it into your 3D reality. Literally, it's like that's like metaphysical principle right there. It's like once you get the mental thing, and it doesn't necessarily like, once the mental is activated by the emotional consistently over and over and over, then it's like you're drawing it out of the parallel reality. I know I'm making it seem like this is physical that you're pulling out, but it's just kind of visual representation of what's kind of going on metaphysically and to your physical reality. And so that's how like you can learn to let go of the fear, is to recognize that each reality exists equally, and you have the power to focus in on what you desire by stepping into the person who already has what you exist. Think of characteristics that this person already, what does this person think like? What does this person feel like? How does this person act? That's what I talk about in, I don't know, one of the posts I posted, I think in the community thing, where I was like, so many people want what they desire without wanting to change who they are. And it's like, just the metaphysical law is just like, that's not really possible. Who you desire to be and what you desire to experience requires you to actually change, right? Like, it's just metaphysical law, like, because who you are in this parallel reality versus the parallel version of you that has everything you desire is different. It might be slightly different. It might be drastically different, but definitely different, because clearly if you were a vibrational match to the version of you that you desire to be and desire to experience certain things, you would already have these things, right? So you literally have to change, right? So that's what I'm talking about, thinking about, how does this person think? How does this person act in the world? How does this person react or feel moment to moment? What do they believe about life? You know what I mean? How do they see the world? And when you start to understand that, this version of you, then you can start to slowly step into that version of you and start to embody that. And that's how you start to shift your reality. And so, yeah, that's how you learn to trust following your highest excitement. It's bit by bit, moment to moment. What do I feel like doing? And in the beginning, you might have to ask yourself that until it becomes the new normal, because most of us are conditioned not to follow our highest excitement. Most of us are conditioned to follow our logical minds over what feels good, and that's totally fine. That's the game we came to play. But to get out of that is like reconditioning yourself, right? To be like, okay, what feels good in this moment? What do I really want to do? You know? And maybe you're like, I just really want to feel the sun on my skin right now. So I'm just gonna go outside and just sit in. Yeah, just gonna sit here for a second. It just feels really good right now. Oh my goodness, it feels so good. And then you're just sitting there, and 30 minutes later, you soaked in the sun, and then maybe the sun is getting a little bit too hot, and you're like, okay, I kind of want to go inside and get a little bit of AC. Oh, and I want to go. Oh, I brought something really good for lunch. I'm gonna go eat that. You know, and it's really like learning to follow the breadcrumbs of pleasure in every single moment, you know, and learning to trust that, you know. And for all my entrepreneurs out there, you have even a little bit more leeway to do it, just by the nature of being an entrepreneur or independent contractor or whatever it is, to set up your own schedule. And that gives you a little bit more freedom to follow your bliss. But even if you have a job, you can still, the moments that you aren't having to do something just because of your job, follow it in the moments that you have more free time, right? Doing what you love, and doing what brings you joy, right? And hopefully your job is something that brings you joy. So yeah, it's like, it's really simple, but not always easy, right? Like, it's really simple, but it's not always easy, just because of our simple conditioning and what we've come to explore on the planet. So give me a second. I'm gonna check in with my spirit fam. Yeah, so that's enough for now. I'm complete. I hope that this has been helpful. This Soul Nugget Sunday, I want to start sharing divine information that my soul is sharing from me to you. And I hope this has been helpful. Me and my impromptu in the car chronicle of sharing this soul nugget wisdom with you. I hope that you can follow your bliss as much as possible. And always remember, you are divine. Vibrate higher, and peace, love, and light. Talk to you soon.